Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Welcome. This is a Biochemistry 2 course called Chem 342. We are having lecture 42 and our today's topic is steroid hormones. This is your teacher Dr. Naeem Khan, Chemistry Department, CUST. Outlines for today's lecture include we will talk about subclass of steroid hormones containing 18 carbon atoms, and here we will highlight the chemistry of female sex hormones and the important functions of female sex hormones. Then we'll go to the another subclass of steroid hormones, that is C19 steroids, and this includes the chemistry of male sex hormones and the important functions of male sex hormones. Then we will go to the third subclass of steroid hormone, that is C21, or the steroids having 21 carbon atoms. And here we will highlight the chemistry of adrenal cortex hormones and the important function of adrenal cortex hormones. Let's to have a start. Steroid hormone. Steroid hormones are those which include the sex hormones and the hormones from adrenal cortex. Basically, steroid hormones contain two types of hormones. One, those which are called as sex hormones, it is male and female sex hormones, and others are the hormones released, secreted by the adrenal cortex. Sex hormones are concerned with the sexual processes and the characteristics which differentiate males from females. Sex hormones are well known and they are having the important functions which are responsible for the sex processes, and actually sex hormones bring about those physiological characteristics changes that differentiate male from females. Sex hormones are actually secondary hormones as they are controlled by the pituitary gland hormone, which is called hypophysis. So the pituitary gland hormones or hypophysis hormones are called primary hormones, while sex hormones is they are under the control of hypophysis, so they are also called sex secondary hormones. Three types of sex hormones are recognized. We have three types, and these include estrogens, and estrogens are the female or ovarian or follicular hormones. So estrogens are the female sex hormone, and also androgens, which are the male hormone or hormone released by the testes, and estrogen, which are released by the corpus luteus of female. Based on the number of carbon atoms, steroid hormones are classified into three subclasses: C18, C19, and C21. Actually, steroid hormones have different types of carbon chain, and based on the number of carbon atoms they are having, actually they are classified into those having 18 carbon atoms called C18 steroids, and those having 19 carbon atoms, that is C19 steroids, and those having 21 carbon atoms called C21 steroids. So let's have a start. C18. C18 steroid means those hormones, steroid hormones which are containing 18 carbon atoms. This subclass include the hormones released by the ovary, and they are called estrogens. Mammalian ovary contains follicles which produce estrogen. Estrogens are the C18 hormones released by the follicles present in the mammalian ovary. Chemically, estrogens are derivatives of C18 hydrocarbon called estrane. From the chemistry point of view, estrogens are believed as derivatives of C18 hydrocarbon, which is called estrane. This is a structure of estrane, and we know that actually the basic requirement for a compound to be steroid is having four ring A, B, C, D. These estrogens are considered to be the derivatives from the C18 hydrocarbon called estrane. Three compounds of estrogen group have hormonal activity. Estrogens basically are of three types, and there are three compounds known which are having the characteristics which are attributed to estrogen, and these include beta estradiol, which is C18H24O2, and estriol, which is C18H24O3, and third in estrone, C18H22O2. Basically, three types of compounds are there which are having the characteristics attributed to estrogen. I mean, three estrogen compounds are there: beta estradiol, estriol, and estrone. And this is here we can see the structure: beta estradiol and estriol on estrone. Try to differentiate one compound from another. Here we can see four rings and also a hydroxyl group at position number 3. Here we have the same. The difference we can see here. We have methyl group at 18. Here also we have hydroxyl group at 17, and here we also have. But the estriol is having hydroxyl group at carbon number 16, but here we don't have. Coming to the estrone, here we can see another change, and that is the ketone group, the oxy group at position number 17, and also the hydroxyl group is not having at carbon number 16. So the three compounds which are called estrogen are different from one another at the orientation at carbon number 16. The beta estradiol is having only hydrogen, two hydrogen atom, but the estriol is having hydroxyl group at carbon number 16, but the estrone is having not having hydroxyl at carbon number 16, and also at 17 they have undergone oxidation, so there is ketone group is there. This structure can be traced in the GL Jain book of biochemistry. Functions of steroids, C18 steroids. So the important functions which are attributed to the C18 estrogen include: estrogens stimulate the growth, maturation, and maintenance of the female reproductive system and accessory sex tissues. They are responsible to stimulate of the growth. They be responsible for maturate and maintenance of the female reproductive system and accessory sex tissue. Estrogens prepare the uterine mucosa for the lateral action of the hormone produced by the corpus luteum. Actually, the corpus luteum hormones are performing special function, but estrogen has to prepare the mucosa for the lateral action of the hormone. Estrogen preserves the elasticity of the skin and improves the memory in the woman at post-menopausal stage. Different stages of the cyclic menopause. So the menopausal stages actually in women, this memory is improved and the elasticity of skin is preserved by the estrogen. Estrogen actually protect women from the osteoporosis by slowing the rate at which calcium is leached from their bones. These hormones are believed that protects from osteoporosis by slowing down the rate at which calcium is leached from their bones. So there's calcium protection. These hormones preserve the flexibility of blood vessel and thus helping to prevent cardiac diseases. Actually, these C18 estrogen steroids actually maintain the flexibility of the blood vessel, and thus this is preventing the cardiac diseases. Now coming to the another subclass, and that is C19 steroid. And this class include the hormones released by the human testes, and they are therefore called testicular hormone, or commonly called androgens as well. Hormones secreted by the testes are called androgens, and chemically androgens are believed to be the derivatives of C19 hydrocarbon, which is called androsten. Here we can see the structure. This is androsten. The difference between the estrogen and androgen precursor compound is it is having methyl group at carbon 10. Three important androgens are also there, just like three important compound we study estrogen. These include testosterone, which is C19H22O2, and androsterone, which is C19H30O2, and dehydroepiandrosterone, dehydroepiandrosterone, that is C19H22, H25O2. All the three compounds, testosterone, androsterone, and dehydroepiandrosterone, they are all three having C19 carbon atom, and their structure formulas can be traced here: testosterone and androsterone and DHEA. Here we can see a clear differences at carbon number 3. We have ketone group, and here we have OH group, and the same here we have OH group. But here at carbon number 5, we have unsaturation. Here we are not having unsaturation. Rather, in testosterone, we have unsaturation at carbon number 4. Now coming to the carbon number 17, here we have OH group, but at androsterone and DHEA, we have ketone group. So the three androgens we have: testosterone, androsterone, and dehydroepiandrosterone. All the three are C19 steroids. They are male sex hormones created by the human male testes, and they are having C19 carbon atoms, and they are considered to be the derivatives of C19 hydrocarbon, which is called endostain. C19 steroids, among serious steroids, testosterone is the most potent of all these, and dehydroepiandrosterone is least active. Actually, among the three, testosterone is considered to be the most active, while dehydroepiandrosterone is considered as the least active. Relative potency ratio of the three forms of androgen is 27:1. So it means testosterone is having 20 activity, while the dehydroepiandrosterone is 1. So it means testosterone is having the highest biological potency. Testosterone hormones also produced by the adrenal gland, such as androstenedione 317-dione, which is having this structure. Actually, one hormone that is produced by the adrenal gland, there include androstenedione 317-dione. Actually, it is androsterone structure, but having double bond at position number 4 and 3 at position number 3 and 17, we have ketone group. Androsterone, which is also having 4 double bond at position 4, and at position 3, 11 and 17, we have on group. Look this, 3, 11 and 7, we have ketone groups. The structure can also be traced in the textbook of Fundamental Biochemistry written by G.L. Jain. C19 steroids functions of androgen. Androgens develop the secondary sex characteristics in males, which includes those responsible for the differentiation of male from female. Androgens regulate the activities of the male reproductive systems. Also, androgens stimulate the growth of skeletal muscles and are often used by weightlifters, wrestlers, and football players to increase muscle mass and strength. This is the use which is most commonly employed in the modern world, in the developed world. Androgens are actually used often by the weightlifters, wrestlers, and football players. Actually, they are using this for to increase the muscle mass and strength. Testosterone has often been considered to be a youth hormone because of its effects on the musculature. Actually, this used to increase the muscle weight, the strength. This is considered to be the youth use. And that's why testosterone is considered to be the youth hormone as well. Testosterone increases the size and strength of the bone, and it is often used in old age to treat osteoporosis. Actually, the loss of calcium, that is the depletion of bone, is called osteoporosis, and this testosterone actually maintains, increase, and strengthen the bones, and that's why it is used to treat osteoporosis in the old age. So androgens are having important secondary function. They are developing the secondary sex characteristic in male, and they are regulating the male reproductive system activities. Also, they are used by the weightlifter, wrestlers, and football players to increase the muscle mass and strength. Testosterone is known as youth hormone as it is used for the musculature, and testosterone, which is the most potent of the C19 steroid, is used to treat osteoporosis in old age. Third class is the C21 steroid, which are also called adrenal cortex hormones. And pair of adrenal glands are situated anteriorly to the kidneys. On the anterior side of the kidneys, we have a pair of adrenal glands. Here we can see this is a kidney, and here a pair of adrenal glands are located. Adrenal cortex is the outer thick bar-like covering. Actually, there are two layers. The outer thick layer is the adrenal cortex, and the inner is adrenal medulla. This is the cortex, and here we have medulla, and derived from the mesodermal glandular tissue. This is mesodermal glandular tissue, which is making the adrenal cortex, and it secretes 40 to 50 C21 steroid called corticosteroid. There are so many steroids which are secreted by the adrenal cortex, and all of them are having C21 carbon atoms, and they are called corticosteroids. Corticosteroids are having basically three types. Mineral corticosteroid, which are concerned with the transport of electrolytes and distribution of water and tissues. Mineral corticosteroid concerned with the transport of electrolytes and the distribution of water in the tissues. For example, aldosterone and deoxycorticosterone. Here we can see that aldosterone and deoxycorticosterone. This is aldosterone, C21 carbon atom. Here we have a typical steroid structure, dehydroxycorticosteroid. Here we can see deoxycorticosterone, which is not having the OH group at carbon number 11 here. It is lost. Another class is the glucocorticosteroids, that is concerned with the metabolism of carbohydrates, protein, and fats, and it includes cortisone and cortisol, and corticosterone. Here we have cortisone, cortisol, and corticosterone. Five main adrenal cortex hormones, corticosteroids, are mentioned here: aldosterone, deoxycorticosterone, cortisone, cortisol, and corticosterone. All of them are steroids. Here we can see the basic structure, that is having the four ring, fused ring together, which is the requirement for steroid is there. All of them are having 21 carbon atom. Look this here, 21 carbon atoms are here. Here 21, and all the three are hormone released by the adrenal cortex. These structure can be traced in the GLGN textbook of biochemistry. Functions of adrenal cortex hormone. Mineral corticosteroid perform the following function: water salt balance of the body. This is very important function for maintaining the internal environmental balance. This water salt balance is required. Stimulates the reabsorption of sodium ions from the kidney tubule. It regulates the sodium chloride content of the body. Definitely, if it is reabsorbing, so it will be maintaining the balance of the sodium chloride content of the blood. It causes excretion of potassium in the urine, so it excretes potassium in the urine. Glucocorticoids is performing the following function. They influence the carbohydrate metabolism, firstly by increasing release of glucose from the liver, and secondly by promoting the transformation of amino acid to carbohydrates. Actually, gluconeogenesis and glycogenolysis is actually influenced by the corticosteroid. These hormones are actually releasing the carbohydrate from the liver by breaking down the glycogen stored in the liver. And secondly, they are actually performing gluconeogenesis, that is synthesis of carbohydrate from the non-carbohydrate residues such as amino acids. They decrease the protein synthesis in the muscle tissue. They control eosinophil cells of the blood, and they regulate lipogenesis. Lipogenesis is the synthesis of lipids. So they are maintaining that they reduce the osteoid matrix of bone, thus favoring osteoporosis, weak bone, and heavy loss of calcium from the body. They reduce osteoid matrix of the bone, thus favoring the osteoporosis and heavy loss of calcium from the body. Important functions of the glucocorticoids, that is maintaining the glucose level, that is by releasing the glucose from the liver through glycogenesis and forming glucocarbohydrate from the non-carbohydrate residue, that is gluconeogenesis. They reduce the protein synthesis in the muscle, they control eosinophil cell of the blood, and they regulate lipogenesis, lipid synthesis, and they reduce osteoid matrix of the bone, thus favoring osteoporosis and heavy loss of calcium in the body. Glucocorticoid, they perform the important function. They decrease immune responses associated with the infection and anaphylaxis. They cause increased secretion of the hydrochloric acid and pepsinogen by the stomach, and then trypsinogen by the pancreas. They cause a retention of sodium, that is loss of potassium to some extent in similar way to the aldosterone in action. Important function textbook, that is Western taught and Jelgen and recommended. I strongly recommend to please go to these books and develop a thorough concept of the point we discussed today. See you next time. From today, I will say thank you, goodbye, Allah Hafiz.